I step into the grand ballroom and the scent of polished marble hits me first, mingling with the faint aroma of roses tucked into gilded vases along the walls. The chandeliers above are massive, crystalline giants, scattering golden light across the deep green velvet drapes and polished parquet floors. A string quartet in the corner plays softly, a waltz that feels familiar, like a memory I once had and barely allowed myself to remember. Guests drift in small clusters, murmuring, glasses of champagne in hand, their laughter polite but edged with curiosity. I adjust the cuff of my silk gown, feeling its weight and how it glides over the curves of my body. My husband walks beside me, hand grazing mine, grounding me in the present. Our connection is quiet but unshakable, a shared understanding that we built a life together that no one could touch. The faint press of his hand reassures me as I scan the room. There at the far end, I see them, my parents, sitting in a tight circle with my brother, all of them clad in their expected finery, but their eyes widening as they spot me. For a split second, the old ache surfaces, the humiliation, the sneering voices of my family from years ago, the words that once felt like chains around my ambition. You'll never make it on your own. Stop embarrassing yourself. Normal life is all you deserve. The echoes whisper in the back of my mind, but I straighten my posture and inhale deeply, letting the polished marble and floral scents anchor me. I am no longer the girl they scorned. We glide past tables set with fine china and sparkling crystal. Waiters in black tuxedos offer trays of hors d'oeuvres, their silver sheen glinting under the chandeliers. The low hum of polite conversation washes over me like a tide, carrying hints of curiosity, whispers of "Isn't that Elise Grant?" And I thought she had disappeared. I can feel the moment approaching, that quiet recognition in their eyes when they finally process what I have become. I let my gaze drift to my husband. He squeezes my hand gently, a reminder that I am not alone in this. My child, our little spark, clings to his side, too small to understand fully but sensing the weight and beauty of this moment. I want to speak, to claim the room without raising my voice. I want to make them see me, not as the reckless, naive girl they dismissed, but as the woman who built an empire from nothing. As we approach, my parents' faces shift through disbelief, confusion, and a flash of something that resembles panic. My brother freezes mid-sip of champagne, a forced smile faltering on his lips. They had expected someone diminished, someone who would slip quietly into the background, apologizing for daring to dream. Instead, they are confronted with presence, poise, authority. My heels click against the floor, a steady rhythm marking my ascent into the center of their gaze. A waiter passes by with a tray of champagne, and I take a flute, feeling the cool glass against my palm. The liquid inside reflects the chandelier's light, golden, and steady. I sip without haste, savoring it like a ritual of victory. Not arrogance, not vengeance, but quiet acknowledgement of my journey. I hear murmurs ripple through the guests, the sound of curiosity sharpening into recognition. One woman, leaning toward her companion, whispers my name. Elise Grant, the CEO of Lumen Tech. Her words hang in the air, weighty and undeniable. Conversations pause mid-sentence, glasses halt in midair, and for the first time, I see the realization dawning on my family. The recognition is not just that I have succeeded, but that I have thrived on my own terms, the truth undeniable and luminous. Flashbacks strike sharply, unbidden, the day I was forced out of the family home, suitcases in hand, eyes red from tears I refused to shed in front of them. The sneers of my brother, the cold dismissal of my parents, their certainty that I would falter. I remember sitting on my small apartment floor, staring at invoices and spreadsheets, the hum of my computer, my only company. Those nights were long, the air thick with fear, uncertainty, and the faint scent of instant coffee and candle smoke. But they taught me resilience, patience, and the quiet art of self-validation. A sudden shift in the room pulls me back. A man I once knew from my youth approaches, eyes wide, fumbling slightly. "Elise, I didn't know you'd—" His voice trails off, awe spilling over the edges of his words. I give a small, controlled smile, one that speaks of composure and accomplishment, and say nothing, letting the silence convey more than words ever could. Recognition spreads like ripples in a pond. The whispers of my former acquaintances and rivals ripple outward. She's the CEO. She built it herself. The girl who left? Look at her now. My father opens his mouth, and for a second, I think he will speak. Perhaps an apology, a challenge, something to reclaim the narrative. But no words come. His eyes dart, avoiding direct contact. My mother shifts uncomfortably, lips pressed in a thin line. My brother clears his throat, attempts a smile, but it falters under the weight of truth. The room seems to hold its breath. I take a deliberate step forward, the fabric of my gown flowing like liquid over marble. My husband's hand finds mine again, strong and unwavering. I look at my parents once, a single, controlled gaze, and then I turn away. My voice is calm, measured, each word chosen. It's lovely to see everyone tonight. No apology. No flourish of vindication, just the simple, undeniable statement of presence. I move past them, towards the center of the ballroom where the string quartet plays, letting the waltz carry me. Guests step aside, some with polite admiration, others with shock etched into their features. I smile at familiar faces, exchanging pleasantries, but there is no tension in my movements, only the serene certainty of someone who knows her own worth. A waiter offers another flute of champagne, and I accept, raising it briefly in acknowledgement to those who truly believed in me, those who supported my vision when the world seemed to oppose it. The clinking of glasses resonates through the marble hall. A delicate symphony that mirrors the triumphs hard-won and the quiet dignity of survival. The shadows of the past linger faintly in my peripheral vision. Memories of nights filled with self-doubt, whispers of ridicule, and the cold indifference of family. But tonight, those shadows are powerless. They do not define me. My achievements, my empire, my family of choice, these are what exist now. The ballroom, golden and vast, reflects not just chandeliers, but the culmination of relentless work, integrity, and perseverance. Guests approach, shaking my hand, sharing stories of admiration and curiosity. Their words are gentle, reverent. Their astonishment palpable. And still, I say little, letting my accomplishments speak. A young woman approaches, eyes bright, whispers, "I've read your interviews. You inspire me." I nod, offering a smile that is warm, measured, and entirely in my control. This is interaction on my terms, my authority undisputed. From the corner of my eye, I see my parents again. My father's jaw tightens. My mother's fingers clutch the stem of her glass so tightly it gleams white. My brother leans back slightly, his expression faltering as he watches the subtle deference given to me by the room. The truth of my success presses against them, undeniable, unshakable, and I feel no need to lecture, no need to assert beyond mere existence. I am enough. I move through the crowd, the gentle brush of silk, the quiet clink of heels on marble, each step deliberate. My husband follows closely, a constant reminder of partnership and shared triumph. Guests part smoothly, some whispering, some staring, and I let their reactions wash over me without allowing them to unsettle my calm. The power lies not in their awe, but in the unassailable reality of my life, constructed from ambition, vision, and integrity. As the evening progresses, I approach the balcony where moonlight spills across ornate stonework. The cool air carries the faint scent of night-blooming flowers. Mingling with the lingering perfume of roses and my own understated fragrance, I pause, looking back at the ballroom. Faces peer toward me, recognition, astonishment, and, in some, the faintest touch of guilt. The world as they knew it, their assumptions, their dismissals, no longer hold sway. I take a deep breath and feel the pulse of achievement, tempered by restraint. My voice is quiet, but I address no one. I am grateful for those who believed in me when others would not. No accusation, no triumphalism, only acknowledgement of truth. The words echo softly in the night air, carrying over the marble and velvet, touching no ears but my own conscience and the few I choose to share this space with. Guests continue to glance in my direction, some with whispered recognition, others with polite admiration. My parents' eyes follow me for a long moment. I do not linger. There is nothing left to prove. I walk toward the exit, the click of my heels deliberate and unhurried. My husband's hand finds mine once more, a silent pact of shared history, mutual respect, and enduring support. The doors open to the cool night, the scent of roses and distant city lights filling the air. I step outside, leaving the grand ballroom and its astonished occupants behind. The world has shifted beneath my feet, not because I demanded it, not because I shouted or pleaded, but because I existed fully, authentically, and with unwavering dignity. I glance back once, just long enough to see their faces, surprise, the faint trace of shame, and then I turn forward. My child waves from my husband's side, small and bright and unburdened, a living testament to new beginnings. The night stretches before us, unclaimed and luminous, full of possibility. Every step away is deliberate, each one carrying the weight of years, of struggle, of quiet victories, long denied. And with each step, I release the remnants of past scorn, walking into a life I have forged, untouchable by doubt, unshaken by memory. I do not look back again. I do not need to. The marble hall, the chandeliers, the whispers of the past, they are now mine only as echoes. Shadows in the brilliance of what I have built. The cool air brushes against my face, a gentle promise. The night holds nothing but potential, untainted by their disbelief. And in that clarity, in that serene realization, I know the final truth. I am enough, wholly and irrevocably, and I always have been. I step into the taxi waiting at the curb, the warm leather and soft hum of the engine, a cocoon around us. My husband's hand finds mine one last time, a quiet affirmation. Our child leans against him, eyes wide with curiosity. And as the city lights blur past the window, I feel it, the final, unshakable release of a past that no longer defines me. I am Elise Grant. I am CEO. I am unassailable. I am free. I close my eyes and smile, not at vengeance, not at triumph, but at the simple, undeniable truth: I am exactly where I belong. I step out of the taxi onto the cool cobblestones. The air crisp and carrying the faint scent of night-blooming flowers mixed with city lights. The stones under my heels remind me of streets from my childhood, only now everything feels elevated, deliberate, and unmistakably mine. My husband's hand finds mine again, steady and unwavering, and our child, small and luminous, clings to his side, laughing at something unseen but joyous. That laughter, innocent, free, unburdened, reminds me of what we've built together, a life not dictated by anyone else's expectations. I feel their gaze before I even turn. My parents remain inside the ballroom, but I know they are watching. Shock, disbelief, and a flicker of panic cross their features. The people who once scoffed, who dismissed my dreams as childish and reckless, now scramble to place me, to reconcile the girl they once scorned with the woman standing here. My brother freezes mid-sip of champagne, a forced smile faltering. They expected a shadow, someone diminished, quietly apologetic. Instead, they are confronted with presence, poise, and unassailable authority. The memories press softly at the edges of my mind the day I was cast out of the family home. Suitcase in hand, cheeks streaked with tears I refused to shed in front of them. My brother's laughter, my parents' cold dismissal, the certainty in their voices that I would fail. I remember sitting on the floor of my tiny apartment, staring at spreadsheets, invoices, and the glowing hum of a computer that became my only companion. Those nights, long and lonely, taught me more than their contempt ever could. Patience, resilience, the quiet art of self-belief. A voice approaches, hesitant, tentative. One of the acquaintances from years ago, the ones who had once laughed at my ambitions, says, "Elise Glazai, I didn't realize." His eyes widened in awe, voice catching. I offer a small, controlled smile, the kind that conveys strength without pride. I say nothing more. Words are unnecessary. My presence, my accomplishments speak louder than any argument ever could. Recognition spreads through the crowd, whispers of astonishment, awe, and newfound respect. "She's the CEO, she built it herself, the girl who left. Look at her now." I recall sitting at my first modest office, alone among stacks of papers, spreadsheets, and flickering computer screens. Nights of doubt, meetings that ended in rejection, investors who turned me away, all of it was the foundation for tonight. The lessons, the struggle, the relentless pursuit of my vision, every step brought me to this moment. Inside, the whispers of the guests swell. They look at me, some with admiration, others with disbelief. My parents' eyes follow my every move. My father's jaw tightens, my mother clutches her glass, and my brother's smile falters under the weight of reality. The truth is undeniable, silent, and inescapable. I do not approach them. I do not offer explanations or apologies. My existence in this space, fully realized, is statement enough. I walk through the ballroom, heels clicking lightly on the marble, the silk of my gown flowing like liquid around my legs. Guests step aside, murmuring in hushed tones. I nod, smile politely, accept their compliments with measured grace. The awe in their eyes is a reflection of the work, perseverance, and integrity that brought me here. I do not flaunt. I simply exist, and the room adjusts to accommodate that reality. We move toward the balcony, where moonlight spills over ornate stone railings. The cool night air carries the scent of flowers and the faint echo of city streets, a reminder that the world outside is vast and alive. I pause, glancing back at the ballroom, seeing their faces, awe, shock, perhaps a trace of guilt, and yet I feel nothing but serene certainty. My past does not define me, my achievements do. My life, my family of choice, my empire, these are the truths that matter. I take a deep breath, allowing the quiet gravity of this moment to settle into me. I whisper to no one, I am grateful for those who believed in me when others would not. No accusation, no flourish of vengeance. Just acknowledgement of truth, and the calm satisfaction that I have survived, grown, and risen. The guests continue their conversations, glances still flicking toward me, but I am already moving. My husband guides us down the marble stairs, our child between us, hand in hand, laughter trailing behind us. Every step is deliberate, a rhythm of freedom and self-assurance. The night air brushes my cheeks, cold yet invigorating, and I inhale deeply, savoring the clarity of my emancipation. My parents remain inside, frozen in their own discomfort and surprise. I do not look back. Their astonishment, the faint guilt on their faces, is theirs to carry. I am beyond it. My focus is forward, toward the life I have built with integrity and vision. My child's small hand in mine, our laughter mingling, reminds me that this life is alive, beautiful, and entirely ours. The city sprawls beyond the ballroom, lights shimmering like distant stars. I feel an unshakable sense of calm and power. Years of struggle, humiliation, and doubt have been distilled into this moment of quiet triumph. I walk confidently, unhurried, each step echoing certainty and independence. My husband's steady presence anchors me. Our child's laughter colors the night with possibility. I glance back one final time, seeing them, my parents, my brother, the world that once dismissed me. They are frozen in recognition, their assumptions shattered by reality, their previous judgments rendered irrelevant. I allow myself a small, serene smile, not for vengeance, but for clarity, for truth. I do not need their validation. I never did. The taxi waits at the curb, warm leather and soft hum of the engine embracing us. I step in, our little family together, and feel a profound sense of completion. The night stretches before us, unclaimed and full of potential, a landscape of possibility crafted by my own hands, mind, and heart. I close my eyes briefly, feeling the pulse of the city and the hum of life around us. I am Elise Grant, CEO, leader, mother, partner, architect of my destiny. The cold elegance of the night, the faint scent of flowers, the soft gleam of moonlight on marble, all witness to the culmination of years of resilience. I am unassailable, fully realized, and free. We glide through the streets in silence, a family wrapped in their own quiet triumph. The echoes of past doubts, old voices of dismissal, drift away, powerless to touch this moment. My hands rest lightly on the small of my back, and my husband's fingers curl over mine. Our child leans against us, the embodiment of the future we are shaping. Every breath, every heartbeat affirms what I have always known. I am enough. Not for them, not for anyone else, but for myself. And in that knowledge lies the ultimate liberation. The world awaits, luminous and vast. And I step fully into it, leaving the shadows of the past behind. The taxi moves into the night, carrying us toward new beginnings. My eyes followed the lights flickering past, distant and ephemeral, like memories I no longer need to cling to. I feel the soft weight of satisfaction settle into my chest, warm and steady. I am not defined by their disbelief, nor by the echoes of old arguments. I am defined by my actions, my vision, and my unwavering resolve. And as the city stretches before me, bright with possibility, I whisper into the night. A quiet affirmation of every step that brought me here. I am alive. I am accomplished. I am free. I reach for my child's hand, and together we face the future unshakable, untethered, luminous. The past remains behind us, a closed door, while we move forward into a life of our own making. The cool night air fills our lungs, carrying the promise of more. More dreams, more challenges, more triumphs. But tonight, there is peace. Tonight, there is clarity. Tonight, there is the unassailable joy of a life claimed fully, without apology, without fear, without restraint. I am Elise Grant. I am complete. And the world finally knows it.